Hello and welcome. We are here. It's episode 2. We're live. We're live on Facebook. We're live on LinkedIn and we are live on YouTube. I'm here with my great friend, Pascal Fintoni. How are you, Pascal?
I'm very good. Yes, very exciting. And can I just say, this music, I just love it. I know that's
Yeah,
what it is.
it gives us a buzz every time, doesn't it? And
Mhm.
I really like it. So we are celebrating the launch of our new program, the 90-day website mastery uh, course, and the completion of our website best practice webinar series. Now, if you know me and Pascal, you'll know that we've always got lots of thoughts and advice, and we just enjoy giving tons of value and content. So we needed a way to be able to share more advice and insights about making your website work harder for you, and more importantly, for you to start feeling proud about your website again. So we've come up with the 90-day website mastery podcast, and this is episode 2. We have 4 segments in each episode. We've got the You Ask We Answer, where we get a question from the community and we answer it for you. We've got the website stories, where we find something online and we'll talk about it and debate a controversial or topical content. We've got the website engine room, where me and Pascal share one of our favorite apps or software solutions to really help you as a website manager. And finally, the last segment is the website call to action. And that's one change or adjustment that you could be making on your website right now. So without further ado, I'm going to get started with our first segment, which is You Ask, We Answer. So this is where we take a question from the community. Pascal, what do we have this week?
This week we're going to be, Johnny and Pascal versus Google again, and people are sending us the questions. So what we're doing, everybody, we putting your questions into the order for the next few episodes. So don't think that we're ignoring you whatsoever. Can I just say, by the way, amazing introduction. There's a lot of information for you to share with our lovely friends today. This is our short form content where we're going to go through those 4 segments. It's going to be quite pacey. Have your pens ready or your keyboard ready. Lots of actionable advice and tips. And today I was looking at what people enter on Google. You can research that very easily through a number of platforms. And it was the question starting with what? And of course, a term website. And the number one question in the UK and certainly English speaking world is, what is website design? And then when you look at the results, you end up in a situation where it's kind of a bit top level, a bit uninspiring. I mean, the one that people will read time and time again, which suggests that people are too busy copying each other. Website design refers to the process of creating the visual appearance, layout, and overall user experience of a website. And my reaction to that, when I think about the work that you and I do, that is actually a rather poor summary of how exciting website design is. What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not the visual appearance and the layout. It's not the first thing that comes to mind when I think website design. It's about, how are you going to hook me and make me feel welcome and like within a fraction of a second make me feel like, ooh, I want to find out more. And so, branding is really important. The colors, the tone, the words. You've got that split second to grab someone's attention. And so it's so much more, isn't it, than just the visual appearance.
Well, that's the end point, and what you're suggesting. And when I think about the work that you do, because we and I talk about websites a lot. I mean, we like all the kind of facets of online marketing, but website is great. I mean, at this moment in time, I'm working on 3 website kind of redesign, refresh with clients, and the brand new website. And the work that you and I do is to help people reconnect with their passion. I always say to them, well, why did you launch the business, and where's the spark coming from? But also in the process of wanting to get it right for your visitors and your kind of future customers, you also immerse yourself in the world of your customers. And there's a massive phase of reflection, of research, of capturing those moments. But also something that, for me, the website, and people have heard me say that through the webinars and through some of the work that we've done together in conferences and workshop, is this idea of remembering one of the best conversations you've had with a prospect. So you're face to face, someone is talking to you, and you share the information, and then they walk away. And then as you reflect on this conversation, Jonny, you kind of go, damn, I was good. And then, like, you have those what I call the content moments. You think, I was really good. I mean, as in, I was impartial, I was passionate, I was good at storytelling. It was very intuitive, very natural. And then the next thing is, what a shame that there was only one person listening to this, because I don't know if I can do this again. And the website, therefore, its role today in 2023 onwards is to find a way for you to retell this encounter so that others can take great pleasure in hearing, listening, and reading about you.
You've captured that so well, Pascal. And there's moments where I come out of a conversation where I think, oh, I'm not sure I should have said that, or it didn't go well. But at the same time, there are absolutely times I come out of that thinking, I nailed that conversation. I absolutely nailed it. I was impartial, as you say. And wow, what a great way to, as an analogy, to say, isn't it a shame that only one person heard that? I love it. Yeah,
Man,
great.
absolutely. So you start. It's only natural that the function or the occupation website design has evolved over time. There's a phenomenon of maturation. It's been good, bad, and ugly, and so on. And I think right now, for me, I really want to invite people to realize that a website is not a technical project. It's not a technical endeavor. If anything, it's an extension of your approach to customer service, your values, and it's a form of expression. Through the choice of words and photography, videos, and colors, and more, you are expressing who you are as a business entity, as individuals, in a way that is as comprehensive as possible. And you've taken the trouble to organize the information logically, and the logic of a face-to-face interaction, not the logic of a board meeting agenda.
Like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Listen, we mentioned that this is a short form kind of content effort, and it's also very, very pacey. So I'm the timekeeper, and it is time to move on to our next segment, website stories.
So, website stories. This is where me and Pascal have seen something online. We've seen a story online, and we want to analyze it, talk about it, etc. What have we seen this week, Pascal?
Okay, so it's an article again this week, and the title is as follows: 3 traditional marketing tactics making a comeback. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say in your reaction. This article was written by Emily Knoll, or Noel, as they say where I come from, for a platform called Studio ID. The 3 marketing techniques, traditional marketing techniques and tactics that she's welcoming a return of will be as follows: the return of direct mail, the return of the cold email, and the return of the blog. So before we move on to the blog, because we are, of course, now hosting the 90-Day Website Mastery podcast, do you feel that there is a return towards that kind of printed communication, direct mail, but also the return to the cold email? But what Emily is arguing, of course, they have improved and evolved. We're not practicing direct mail and email marketing like we're stuck in the 90s or the 2000s.
So I think direct mail, for me, is the obvious gap right now. I think that I think there is. I think so many people have stopped doing direct mail. We used to get so much junk through our letterbox that actually there's a huge opportunity for direct mail right now. And if you can have a really targeted campaign, and I'm talking, where you even just target 20 people. I mean, wow, really targeted. You could potentially, it doesn't have to be that small, but I've seen campaigns that small using direct mail that have like an 80% conversion rate. So direct mail, yes, absolutely. In terms of cold email, it's totally saturated right now. But if you can be very clear on your target audience, very precise on your message, then cold email is absolutely an answer. And in terms of blogs, well, if you've got a piece of very resourceful content, and ultra resourceful, ultra helpful, where you thoroughly understand your audience, I can see a return for blogs as well.
Yeah, and now listen, you and I've kind of predicted it, but only because it's the reversal of micro content. The idea being, if you want to build a relationship, if you want to build, credibility and authority in the marketplace, you can't do that with just a few words. You have to be seen and heard being helpful by going deep into a subject matter. Now, this article is great, by the way, because not only is she kind of naming those three tactics or making a return, she's also giving examples and so on. But we're going to concentrate on the blog. And what she's saying is, of course, we can't just be blogging like in the 90s and 2000s. A blog for a letter word that is so meaningful. She's saying we need to take it further. And frankly, we need to move away from calling it a blog, if you can, to calling it a content hub. And then she goes as far as explaining and describing what a content hub is for all of us. And it's all to do with the fact that no one prospect is the same. Different people consume content differently. So you have to accommodate the formats, written form, audio, video, and so on. But you've got to organize it. She's back to what we said earlier about website design. You've taken the trouble to logically organize information to make it easier for me as a visitor. And therefore, the future or the return to blogging is more to do with being the kind of administrator and architect of a home with a diverse range of content types, and you've organized it around themes, format, and make it easy to find what you do. So are you happy with moving away from blog, talking about content hub?
Yeah, I like that, and to some extent, the word blog has a connotation nowadays as well, and it is about a content hub. It is about a piece of content, whatever that form is slightly irrelevant. But yeah, I much prefer content hub. Yeah.
Do you remember your very first blog?
I remember I do actually. Do you know you've just you've actually just totally brought it back into my mind, and it was a blog talking about how Google was such an unfair playground. I called it the unfair Google playground of search engine optimization, and this was written in 2005.
Wow. Okay. So
2005.
my very first blog wasn't work related. It's usually what's happened to all of us. We experimented with SEO, social media, and so on. So I wrote a blog about antipasto. So this is the Italian kind of platter with different starters and so on. I love food, and so my plan was to essentially eat my way through all Italian restaurants in the north of England and and
Any
come
excuse, Pascal.
essentially take pictures and comment about the ingredients and give some report. And now this would have been 97, 98, I think.
Wow.
So and back then you had to compress photos so much that you couldn't see anything, and then writing and uploading was so much more complex, which put me off actually. And I think for me that's been perhaps what we need to do, all of us, is the platforms today are so helpful to content creators that there's no barriers to entry for that content, whether you want to write, whether you want to do podcasting, video, infographics, you name it. There are so many solutions out there to make life so much easier, which gives me the perfect segue for our next segment. Let's move on to the website engine room.
So the website engine room is where we've got two apps or software solutions or pieces of kit even that me and Pascal want to share with you to make life easier as a website manager and website content creator. Pascal, what is your top app or software solution for this week?
Okay, so this is about inspiration. We all need a bit of help, all need a nudge in the right direction. So people will know that when you work with Jonny and I, we have a few kind of rules and kind of mantras. And number one is stop looking at the competition. It's no source of inspiration. It's only going to make you feel maybe inadequate, or you're going to be overconfident. If anything, you could by accident end up plagiarizing what's already out there. That said, you can't just stare at the blank screen. and where do you go from there? So there is a platform called Lapa Ninja, LAPA.ninja. And this is run by a bunch of really kind of enthusiastic individuals who go around the interweb to capture screenshots and more of landing pages. To date, they have more than 5,000 examples of great landing pages for your website to capture addresses, to share ebooks, to convert more, and so on, maybe to have a specific campaign. And what I like about it, Jonny, is this idea of you're going to get better ideas and more inspiration if you look in other sectors than yours. And this Lapa Ninja, as a kind of directory stroke mini search engine, will give you all of that. You know, you can learn from someone selling flowers if you're in B2B. You can learn from someone who's doing live shows if you want to do better webinars and so on. You can learn from everybody. And what you want to do, therefore, is go through Lapa Ninja, maybe find your top 10, top 5, and study the architecture, study the layout, study why you seem to be drawn to that page, and see if you can bring those lessons into your own website experience.
I like it. Sounds good. And there's nothing wrong. You know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's about taking some of the best and creating something even better.
No, thank you very much. So what about you? What is your discovery for this?
So this one, you could argue, is not a discovery, because some would argue that, well, we've heard of that tool and a lot of people are using it. But actually, I'm aware of so many people still not using it. So I want to bring Canva back into the conversation. Canva is, you know, I would say that there are maybe, I'm going to guess 30% of the people listening to us right now, watching us right now, are probably using Canva. But I would guess that there's probably another 30% that have still not heard of it and have still never even dabbled in it. And it's purely an online graphic design tool. And my advice is spend 100 quid and go for the pro version, because the amount of templates and the amount of resources that are in there is unbelievable. And we're not talking about just video. Sorry, we're not talking about just images here in graphic design. We're talking about video, being able to create video very quickly, very easily, being able to create social media posts, PowerPoint templates, all sorts of different stuff. I totally get that a proportion of people listening or watching right now will already be using it, and I apologize to you guys. But at the same time, there'll be a lot of people that still are not using it to make their lives easier. And I would say it does make your life so much quicker and easier if you're managing a website. So that would be mine for this week.
But even if you are a regular, user of Canva, you end up into habits. You've got your go-to template, you've got all that. And what I will say about Canva, like many platforms, they keep releasing new features, new templates, and so on. And we just miss on them. Quickly, I yesterday actually received an invitation to the online conference, Canva Create, taking place sometime at the end of March. So check it out. I put the link yesterday on Twitter and LinkedIn, but maybe we've not discussed this at all, Jonny, but perhaps we could do a special very soon to do a recap on the big announcements of Canva as part of one of the recordings or the 90-day website mastery.
Like it. We're writing content as we speak. Absolutely love it. And in fact, so does Sarah Phelps. She loves Canva. She's just put a comment, I love Canva. Listen, it's a great tool. Thanks for being here, Sarah. And thanks for anyone. And that's just to remind you, if you are listening or watching live, you're very welcome to comment. And we love that that you might be listening post the live show, and thanks for being here too. We absolutely love our audiences and our community.
No, and I've just realized, because we do our research independently, it's only the day of the recording that we look at the show notes and see, but you could actually go onto Lapa Ninja, find maybe an example you'd like to use as inspiration, and then go on Canva and build it for your web. But at least get to the point of a prototype that you can then give to someone who can do that for you, whether it's your own WordPress, Wix, and all the others.
Absolutely.
Talking of taking action, it is time for our final segment, the website call to action.
The website call to action, this is about one change or adjustment that you should be making to your website right now. I am going to start with mine this week, and it's about trying to make your website as fast as possible and as quick and easy to use as possible. And nitropack.io is a content a CDN. So it's a way to it's a cache and CDN plugin for all intents and purposes that basically sits on top of your website, takes a copy of your website, so that when someone comes along to your website, they're actually seeing the copy of the copy version. And what that means is they're seeing something very quick, because that copy version is highly optimized and in the local area. So if they're in, if they're in France looking at your website, there's a local copy of your website in France. I'm trying to make this sort of quick and easy to understand, but it's basically a copy of your website that's available locally everywhere, that gives the user an instant experience. So they're not having to wait for your server and your WordPress or whatever it is you might be using to provide the content. It makes the whole thing so much quicker. And I wish I'd have found Nitro. It only came out a couple of years ago, but I wish they'd have built it many, many years ago. Highly recommend it. And it just makes websites lightning fast, which increases user experience. So that would be mine for this week. Pascal, what have you got up your sleeve in terms of one action that you could take on a website?
Yeah, so the one action, I want people to completely rethink the homepage of your website. For Jonny and I, our position is that the homepage kind of contribution to your visitor's experience is to be the meet and greet moment. You have arrived at the right destination, and then the second thing within milliseconds is to explain to people how to use a website and how to get the best and the most out of their visit. So what you need to have is a welcome video that gives a tour of your website, not the business. Oh, I know it's very, very daring, but think about it. I've arrived on the website, maybe made swifter with your contribution Nitro Pack, but I'm still kind of, walk into a building with lots of different rooms, lots of stairs and lifts and whatever. And I need someone to say, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How can I help you today? I need that. And by the way, it may come very, very soon with AI avatars and virtual assistant. So what this video will do is give people within a 30-second to 45-second a tour of the key part of your website, the valuable content that they can get into, particularly if you've gone for the content hub, and for them to just be reassured, to calm nerves, to calm hesitations, and also make them stick around a bit longer. So the steps I want people to go through is storyboard. So go through your website again, maybe get someone who's not from your business to go through it and capture almost like visually the key elements of the website. You end up with a static storyboard. And then, and again, this wasn't planned at all, I'm going to say go on Canva and put together a video tour of your website. And if you have to, then add testimonials from people about the website, not the business. I know it's very, very daring because, of course, people are saying, well, when they arrive on their homepage, they have to have a sales video so that we can, push. And I think that there are other areas of the website for the sales videos, but for the homepage, it's the meet and greet. Do that with a video message.
I like it. With those two tools, you're making someone feel extremely welcome very quickly. And what can be wrong with that? So, yeah, I like that a lot.
As you would face-to-face, Jonny, as you would face-to-face. And for me, I want to take us back to, you ask, we answer. That's the kind of reflection website design is all about. What can we do to have parity between the face-to-face experience and the online experience?
Brilliant. Well, that's it for today, I'm afraid, folks. It was episode 2 of our new podcast series, the audio companion to the 90-day website mastery program. For more information, please visit 90daymarketingmastery.com. You'll be able to book your discovery call with either myself or Pascal. And we look forward to seeing you on our next episode, which will be episode 3, and we'll be following a similar format with lots of more tons of value and tricks and tips to make you proud of your website. See you all soon. Take care. Thanks, Pascal.
Bye.